Welcome back to Upregulate. Today we're talking about Chimeric Antigen Receptor T-cell therapy. What is Chimeric Antigen Receptor T-cell therapy and how does it work? The immune system serves as the body's defense mechanism against infections and cancer, consisting of numerous types of cells. Among these cells, lymphocytes, a subtype of white blood cells, constitute a significant portion. The immune system comprises of three types of lymphocytes: B cells, which produce antibodies to combat infections; T cells, which perform multiple roles such as assisting the B cells in creating antibodies and directly eliminating infected cells; and natural killer cells, which target infected cells and remove viruses. Chimeric antigen receptor T-cell therapy is a form of immunotherapy that involves collecting and using the patient's own T-cells for the purpose of treating their disease. These T-cells are genetically modified in the laboratory to create chimeric antigen receptors on their surface, which identify and attach to particular proteins or antigens located on cancer cells. Because this therapy involves live T-cells, the treatment has often been called a living drug. How are CAR-T therapies manufactured? To obtain T-cells from a patient, a procedure called apheresis is used to withdraw blood from the body and separate out specific components, such as white blood cells or platelets, before returning the remaining blood back to the patient. These cells are delivered to a laboratory or drug manufacturing facility where T-cells undergo genetic modification to create chimeric antigen receptors on their surface that allow the T-cells to recognize an antigen on the targeted tumor cells. After this process, the T-cells are now known as chimeric antigen receptor T-cells. Once enough of the genetically modified T-cells are produced, they are frozen and sent to the medical facility where the patient is receiving treatment. When the patient is ready, these cells can be thawed from the frozen state and infused. CAR-T cells can potentially prevent cancer recurrence by eliminating all cancer cells and may persist in the body for months after the infusion is completed. This therapy has shown promising results in achieving long-term remissions for certain blood cancer types. What are CAR-T therapies' potential side effects? As with all treatments, CAR-T therapy comes with its side effects and drawbacks. CAR-T cell therapy can cause several side effects. To name a few: cytokine release syndrome, which is a potentially serious side effect that can occur when the CAR-T cells multiply and kill cancer cells, releasing cytokines. This causes a multitude of problems, such as nausea, fatigue, chills, and fever, and in more serious situations can cause cardiac arrest, cardiac failure, multiple organ failure, and neurological symptoms. Tumor lysis syndrome is another side effect that can occur due to the breakdown of dying cells and can cause organ damage. Neurological toxicities can also occur. Patients are sometimes asked to write a sentence before and multiple times after treatment to monitor their cognitive health. What is the future of CAR-T therapies? There are currently 5 commercially available CAR-T therapies, with more in development. There are still many challenges that need to be overcome in order to make this therapy more widely available. One of the biggest barriers is the cost and logistics, which can limit access to patients who don't have adequate insurance coverage or who can't access specialized treatment centers. Furthermore, as CAR-T cells become more easily accessible, there may be regulatory and quality control issues that need to be addressed. Building the necessary infrastructure and addressing these challenges will be important for making CAR-T cell therapy more accessible to patients who need it. CAR-T cell therapy has shown promising results in early trials for patients with blood cancers. However, research is ongoing for its use in other blood cancers and solid tumors. While early responses have been positive, longer-term studies with larger sample sizes are needed to better understand the therapy's impact and reduce and manage its toxicities. I hope you enjoyed this week's video on CAR-T cell therapies. I know it's not as long as my usual videos, however a lot of this information can go very in depth and details around the manufacture and process of certain CAR-T therapies are trade secrets. I hope you enjoyed this week's video, and I'll see you in the next one. All the best.